Welcome back. In this video, I'm gonna be talking about accounting. Okay, so I'm going to break it into segments. So what I'm gonna be covering in this video is income and expenses. So let's dive in without wasting much time. All right, once you get to this page, the landing page, you have to locate accounting. So on the menu, bar, we have accounting here. So I'm gonna be talking about income and expenses. Okay, so let's look at income. I've clicked it, it's loading. All right, now what you have here are the list of income. Okay, list of income. So this is income from sales income, the total sales, the income I've made, they appear here. Okay, why the income from other sources, they appear here. All right, they appear under. But right now there are no income from other sources. So income from other sources could be grants, it could be that you're offering some services, could be, so those different service or anything, that any other business that giving you income apart from sales of products. Okay, because there are some businesses, supermarket or thereabout, that are not only selling product, they have other services or whatsoever they are doing. So those income is what will appear under here. To add them from here, okay, under new income. Okay, so before you can add this income, you have to categorize it. You have to say, is it a grant? This income, is it a grant? Is it a particular service you're doing? Maybe a filling station service or just any service. Okay, good. You have to add the category for clicking on this plus button here. Okay, once you click on it, from here you'll be able to add the category. Then once you're done adding it, to bring you back to this page, you can now select the category. Okay, so this is the title of this particular income that you want to add. Maybe let's say it's grant. So the title here could be grant, category could actually be grant. Then you describe this grant for what. You describe it, which grant is this. Okay, for instance, this grant that is the income you're adding. Let's say apply for grant. Now, amount. Okay, the amount for that grant you got. Maybe a particular size. So you enter it here, cash. And then you enter the date. You submit. That's for adding income. Alright. So let's look at viewing the previous income. Right now we don't have anything, but let's just see how the page look like. Remember, this is a light version, so some things here you're going to definitely see more on other versions. But this training will cover basically. Once you know how to operate this, then you will definitely know how to work on the Pro or any other versions. Okay, now this is the different income for the year, this year 2021. So you're going to see that. So for the month of September, we have so amount 120 naira, and that is week 3. So this is segmented according to weeks. Okay, week 1 to 5, and then by month, then how the total. So that's how it look like. Why this is the sales income. Why this is total. Meaning if this is only for sale. Remember, this is for store management software. Okay, so this income is just something else, just give you money apart from sales. Maybe you apply for grants, something. It's an income, so you have to add it. So having added it, this is now total of sale and that particular one you added. That is what you're going to have here. All right, I think that is that for income. Let's go to our expenses. The page is loading. All right, I have much more to say on the expenses than the income. So to add on the expenses, we have variable expenses and we also have fixed expenses. Okay. Now this is to view expenses detail. Let me talk on this first. So you're viewing expenses detail at the top right of your screen. You're going to see a button, view expenses detail. So you click on it to view already existing expenses you've taken. Okay. Now this is it. You have weekly expenses, monthly expenses, and yearly expenses. You can view it anyone you like, you choose. Okay. So this is how weekly expenses look like. I'm going to show you per week. And you can select the month for February, for March, for April, for May, June. You just select the month. It will change. Just that right now, no, we don't have any much figure on it. For instance, I'm in August right now, so you can see 0. Let's enter September. Oh, there must be something wrong here. Okay, so for monthly expenses, likewise. Okay, no expenses. Sorry, I thought we were income. This is expenses, so we've not entered any expenses here. So it's definitely 0 or true. This is for monthly expenses. Okay. You can call it expenses or expenditure. So for now, you can look at this is just how the view look like. And then this is yearly expense. This is how the view look like. Okay. All right. So let's now look at adding expenses. Let's go back. All right, back to this page. Now to add variable expenses. Okay, before that, let me just explain briefly on it. Variable expenses are expenses that the costs are not fixed. I mean, the costs do vary from time to time. Okay, so an example of variable expenses could be utility, like fuel, for instance. Fuel, you do purchase fuel. You know, the amount you purchase today may not be the same amount you purchase tomorrow. It can vary. As a matter of fact, even if you may maintain purchasing the same amount, you may not be able to maintain the duration at which you purchase that particular amount. Okay, that is it. But an expenses, a fixed expenses like electricity bill, sometimes are no longer fixed right now, sef. But if it's fixed, because some localities may still be fixed, you know, they may be charging you 2,000, 3,000 monthly, as the case may be. If it's always 20,000, then it's fixed. But in the case now, where most of the electricity bill are no longer the same, what the bill they bring this month will vary from what they bring next month. So in that case, it's already on variable expenses. Okay. So let's look at example of fixed expenses first. Let's perform. So these are example of fixed expenses. Okay. So I have salary. You know, salary for your worker are fixed. Insurance, licenses, loan, rent, tax, and the utility. Depending if the electricity bill may be fixed, water bill, any bill that utility bill that is fixed, then you can add it. If it's not fixed, don't add it here. All right. So for the employee or your staff salary, this one you need to calculate it. Okay, you need to calculate it for a month. Say your staff salary is if you depending on the number, if you have only 2 staff, first one is 20,000, the second one is 30,000. Then the total for both is 50,000. Is that total expense 20 to 50,000 you need to add here? All right. I think with that one alone, I will explain it. Okay, let me just talk about rent. I think these 2 examples should be able to give you clue on the next things to do on the remaining. Okay. Now, if you ask yourself as a direct marketer, why are you going through this? Actually, right now, remember you're working from home. They sometimes you may visit some physical stores. So in that case, the store is closer to you. If the store need a training, you need to explain some things, then you likely be the one to take that. That's why you need to know this. Okay. So don't worry if you are in the case where you need to train somebody, you're going to have an extra pay for that. Okay. All right. Now for the rent, what you to do is to you already know the rent. It's either monthly, yearly, or thereabout. Okay. So you calculate your rent, and then you're going to enter it here. So let's look at adding fixed expenses. So if you want to add new expenses, you come to this place. Okay. You come to this place. Now let's read this what we have here. You can see that how we have here, you say fill all that applies. It is recommended that enter the cost of 1 year period for the various fixed expenses where known. So if it's possible for you to calculate or convert what you have to 1 year period, that is the recommended value. It will give you the optimize this for this software now. It's going to work best. That's what the software work best with. Okay, a year period. So if this salary nice, like for example 50,000 per month, you just multiply by 12, it will give you for a year. That's 600,000 for 1 year. That is how to enter it. Same applies to rent. So even if you're paying maybe in 5 years time, you used to pay rent for 5 years to stretch, you divide it by 5, that's 1 year. Or you used to pay quarterly, multiply by 4, that's 1 year. So just do the calculation now, convert it to 1 year. All right. Then in the case where the cost of 1 year period of a particular fixed expenses cannot be calculated, fill out the duration known. The optimum and effective profit report. Ensure you fill these fixed expenses correctly on time, preferably in the beginning of the year. So these expenses will help you to calculate your profit. Remember, your profit is selling price minus cost price. Also, so minus expenses. Okay, selling price minus cost of goods sold minus expenses. So you're going to be subtracting expenses from your selling price. To calculate your profit, you need to subtract the expenses. So it's better you enter it at the beginning of the year so that you can start subtracting the expenses right from the beginning of the year. All right, and make sure you're accurate. Right. So let's look at adding fixed expenses. So just click on this add fixed expenses, and then it's going to drop down for you. Now we enter the type of expenses you want to add. Okay, so the expenses could be any of these. So let's say we want to enter rent. Okay, now you enter the description, rent for 1 year or thereabout. Just now the duration, you see, so you can actually enter a particular duration. It must not be 1 year, but where known, that is recommended you make it 1 year. So let's look at custom. So if you do custom, you're going to need to enter the different start date and the end date. I seen it. So if you don't know you cannot say if it's 1 month or 2 or 1 week or any of these ones. The one you did is not here. Just add under custom, enter the date. Okay, so the date of your rent starts so date, ends so date. Just enter it and then enter the amount. But let's say it's 1 year. So let's say that our rent for the store, okay, is 150,000 yearly. So you just, when you're done, just click on add, and then you're there. I've added it. So if I should go to my fixed expenses, you can see it there now. Okay, so this tab here is telling us click to view. I hope you can see that on black written. Okay, white inside the black background. Click to view details or make changes. So if you want to view this rent, you can click on this column. Each of these rows are clickable. Can you see that? If I want to view rent, I just click on this. And then that is it. You can edit it from here. Okay. You can see rent starts from 1st of January and end on 31st. That's 1 year. So you can edit it from here or delete. Right now, I'm gonna be going back. Okay. Going back to the previous page. All right. I think we are done with fixed expenses. It's that simple. Just convert it to 1 year period. That is recommended where possible, and then add it. Okay. Now variable expenses. Remember the ones that are varies. So all your previously added variable expenses will appear here. All right. While you can add new one from here. Add variable expenses from here. Right. So you just fill this form. Let's say the expenses you want to add is sorry. Okay, I will not be explaining this expenses category. As a matter of fact, the business owner, supermarket owner, or whosoever should know the meaning of this. Basically, they should know the meaning of these things here. Okay, so as a direct marketer, you want to know this, just you can go online and perhaps know about it. Okay, so that is it. So let's say we want to enter bank charges, bank service charges. Okay, as variable expenses. Remember, we can still have employee wages as variable expenses. Can you see that? Once it's not fixed, then maybe you're paying the employee based on the work he did, hourly or thereabout, then it's variable. You select it. All right, so let's say it's bank charges. So the title, you can just name it bank charges, something like that. Okay, I prefer making this capital. And then description. This is the description of this. So you can say bank charges for a specific period of time. You get it could be from 1st August to maybe 2nd of September. Okay, 2021. Well, about just any description, most likely, so that when you need to look for it, it will be easy for you to search. Now amount of the expenses you're adding. All right. So it could be, let's say it's bank charges now. Let's say the total they charged me was 1.5. These periods they can charge too much. All right, and that is it. Select the payment method, which is this in this case now is bank, because it's bank that charge from your bank. They debited your bank direct, so it's bank that is the payment method. So it could be that what you're adding is compensation or a product that got destroyed, that is damages. Okay, it could be a utility, maybe fuel or any other thing. Supplies are just pen, there's office paper, like for a store now, nylon. Okay, maybe you bought new calculator, the former one spoiled, pen to write, book, all those things are supplies. All right, nylon bag, take note. Now these are, when you are done, just click on add and then you're good to go. All right, so I think I have done justice to this. So let's look at our variable expenses, the one added. You can see now. So the one added is here already. So to edit, you click on option. This is to edit, and this is to delete. So I believe you already know how to edit and delete if you have been following me in this video. So we have come to the end of this video. I'm gonna see you in the next video. Thank you.